Vaishnavi? Yeah, hi Vaishnavi. Am I audible, Vaishnavi?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Perfect. Acha, Girish, you're there?
Yes, I'm.
Great. So you want to wait for the kids for some more time, or do we start?
Oh, so almost 300 students are there.
And
And
another 2-3 minutes, let's start then.
Joining.
Yeah, Girish, am I audible?
Yes, sir, perfectly audible.
Great. Good afternoon, students. It is a great pleasure. ये बहुत ही आज अच्छा दिन है कि आज आप सब बच्चों से मिलने का अवसर मिला। ये कोविड टाइम्स हमारी लाइफ में बहुत इंपैक्ट डाला है। बट इफ यू सी द बेटर पार्ट ऑफ इट, अगर आप देखें कि इससे हमें सीखने को क्या मिला। जब भी कोई लाइफ में कैलामिटी आती है, चैलेंज आती है, वो डिस्टर्ब करती है, वो हार्म करती है, लेकिन एक इंटेलिजेंट आदमी उससे कुछ सीख लेता है। तो इस साल जब IIT टॉप रैंकर से मेरी बात हो रही थी AI1 से, तो बड़ी स्ट्रेंज बात हुई इस बार। इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ IIT JEE ये पहली बार ऐसा हुआ कि किसी स्टूडेंट ने 98% मार्क्स स्कोर किया, 98% मार्क्स इन द JEE एग्जाम। सो आई आस्क्ड हिम, जब कोविड में सब लोग इतने दुखी थे, एवरीबडी वाज डाउन एंड आउट, व्हाट हेल्प्ड यू, व्हाट मोटिवेटेड यू टू गेट सच गुड मार्क्स? एंड ही सेड, सर कोविड के अंदर मैं घर बैठ के पढ़ाई कर सकता था, मेरा समय खराब नहीं हुआ। जब कभी मेरा मन उदास होता था तो मैं अपने पेरेंट्स के पास चला जाता था, और ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स से अच्छी शिक्षा, मोटिवेशन कोई और दे ही नहीं सकता। आई यूटिलाइज दैट टाइम स्टेइंग एट होम टू द बेस्ट ऑफ माय कैपेबिलिटी, एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई स्कोर्ड सो मेनी मार्क्स। यस, कोविड हैज बीन डिफिकल्ट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस, हम सब लोगों के लिए बहुत मुश्किल का समय रहा है, लेकिन इसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, ये इस मुश्किल समय हम सब के लिए रहा है। जब मुझसे एग्जाम के बाद बच्चे, मैं पूछता हूं उनसे, हाउ वाज योर एग्जाम? दिस फिजिक्स पेपर वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट, सो आई कुडंट सॉल्व टू मेनी क्वेश्चंस। मैं ज्यादा सवाल सॉल्व नहीं कर पाया क्योंकि पेपर बड़ा मुश्किल था। तो मैं ये बोलता हूं कि पेपर तो सभी के लिए मुश्किल था। तो जब सबके लिए मुश्किल हो जाता है तो फिर वो पेपर मुश्किल नहीं रहता, क्योंकि सबका बेंचमार्क चेंज हो जाता है। एंड दैट इज व्हाट दिस कंपटीशन इज ऑल अबाउट। तो आज मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं, आप क्लास 10 से हैं, मुझे पता है बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स क्लास 12 से हैं, और ये मेरे अपने बच्चे हैं, क्योंकि ये वो बच्चे हैं जिन्होंने STEPapp को यूज किया। मेरा नाम संदीप सिंघल है। आई डिड माई बीटेक फ्रॉम IIT रुड़की। फिजिक्स ही पढ़ा रहा हूं, तो हर साल मेरे पास आप जैसे बच्चे आते हैं, और ये मेरे को बहुत अच्छी फीलिंग देता है कि एवरी ईयर ब्राइट, टैलेंटेड वो सारे स्टूडेंट्स, जब उनसे मुलाकात होती है, उनसे कम्युनिकेशन होता है, उनसे सीखने को मिलता है, उन्हें सिखाने को मिलता है, उनकी जिंदगी में कोई चेंज लाने का अवसर मिलता है, इससे अच्छी फीलिंग और कोई हो ही नहीं सकती। सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी, वेरी ग्लैड कि आज हम सब लोग कनेक्ट हो। अब इट इज एन एग्जामिनेशन टाइम। और हम किसी को भी एग्जामिनेशन टाइम बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगता। और इस बार तो थोड़ी दिक्कतें और भी हैं, प्रॉब्लम्स और भी हैं, क्योंकि स्कूल में उस लेवल से पढ़ाई हुई नहीं, उस तरीके से हमारी तैयारी हुई नहीं, हमारे कॉन्सेप्ट उस हिसाब से क्लियर नहीं हुए। वहीं हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्लीज यूज दिस ऐप, बिकॉज ये इसी समय के लिए बनाया गया है। अब जब आप अपने एग्जाम्स की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, आप लास्ट मोमेंट पर हैं, आपको पता है कि आपको 8 चैप्टर्स रिवाइज करने हैं फिजिक्स के, और आपके पास बचे ही सिर्फ 3 या 4 दिन है, तो आप उसको कैसे रिवाइज करेंगे? और ये तो हर सब्जेक्ट के साथ होने वाला है। तो STEPapp में हमने उस चैप्टर के एनसीईआरटी हो या आपके स्टेट लेवल की किताब हो, उस बुक में से, उस चैप्टर में से, उस टॉपिक में से जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं, जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं, उन कॉन्सेप्ट से STEPapp को बनाया है। सो फॉर लास्ट मिनट रिविजन यू कैन यूज दिस टूल आंख बंद करके। यू कैन यूज दिस टूल बिकॉज दिस विल गिव यू द इनसाइट ऑफ द टॉपिक। आप उस टॉपिक को पहले समझेंगे, फिर उस पर आधारित सवालों को सॉल्व करेंगे, और वो सारे कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्वेश्चंस हैं। और फिर जब आप गलती करेंगे तो आपको अपने आप सुधारने का मौका मिलेगा। देखिए, टेस्ट में क्या होता है कि जब क्वेश्चन पेपर आपके सामने आता है, आपने सही किया तो आपको पॉजिटिव मार्क्स, गलत हो गया तो नेगेटिव मार्क्स। लेकिन STEPapp के अंदर आप जितनी बार गलती करेंगे, आपको उसको सुधारने का मौका दिया जाएगा, रीलर्न करने का मौका दिया जाएगा, जब तक कि आप उस कॉन्सेप्ट को बिल्कुल तैयार नहीं हो जाते आप उसके। तो यू कैन यूज STEPapp। दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग आई वांट टू टेल यू, दैट जिन बच्चों ने करा है पहले तो वो भी, और जिन बच्चों ने यूज नहीं कर पाए हैं, आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स टू यूज STEPapp। और उसके अंदर आपको अगर कोई भी तकलीफ हो, आपके पास ऐप का डाउनलोड ना हो, आप उसको डाउनलोड करने में आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, वैसे होनी नहीं चाहिए, बट इफ यू फेस एनी प्रॉब्लम देन देयर इज अ फुल टीम विद मी। गिरीश, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू इफ यू कैन ईमेल अपना और फोन नंबर आप अभी स्क्रीन पे डाल दो, सो दैट बच्चों को जिनको STEPapp यूज करने में कभी भी कोई दिक्कत आए, वो डायरेक्टली हमारे टीम को रीच आउट कर पाए। एक बात आपसे ही करनी। दूसरी बात, कौन वो बच्चे हैं जो IIT में सिलेक्ट होते हैं या मेडिकल एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में सिलेक्ट होते हैं? तो मैं एक बार ऐसे स्टैटिस्टिक्स पे वर्क कर रहा था। मैंने सोचा कि हर एक स्कूल में एक टॉपर तो होगा, साइंस का एक टॉपर। अगर मैं इस सारे स्कूल्स को ऐड करूं तो कम से कम 50 लाख टॉपर्स, हर स्कूल का एक टॉपर, 50 लाख बच्चे तो ऐसे होंगे जिन्होंने सब चीजें ठीक कर रखी होंगी, जिनकी प्रिपरेशन परफेक्ट होगी, तो स्कूल के टॉपर्स हैं वो 50 लाख बच्चे जो टॉपर्स हैं, उनमें से सपोज 10 लाख 15 लाख ने डिसाइड किया कि वो जेईई एंट्रेंस एग्जाम देना चाहते हैं। सोचिए 50 में से वो 10 लाख आ गए, मतलब वो 10 लाख जिन्होंने कोई गलती नहीं कर रखी अपनी लाइफ में, सीरियसली क्लासेस अटेंड करी, टाइम पर क्लासेस में आए, होमवर्क कंप्लीट किया, टीचर्स के आंख के दुलारे थे, तभी तो टॉपर थे। वो 10 लाख बच्चे जब इम्तिहान देते हैं, उनमें से 10,000 बच्चे फाइनली IIT में सिलेक्ट होते हैं। मुझसे एक पेरेंट ने पूछा कि सर, ये 10 लाख बच्चों में से ये 10,000 बच्चे, ये कौन से 10,000 बच्चे हैं? क्योंकि ये तो 10 लाख एक जैसे बच्चे, इनमें से 10,000 कौन से, ये डिफरेंट कौन से हुए? ये वो 10,000 अलग कैसे बने? इनमें ऐसी क्या खास बात है? तो 2-3 चीजें मेरे दिमाग में आ रही हैं जो मे भी शायद आपको हेल्प करें समझने में कि फ्रॉम 10 लाख हाउ डू यू रीच टू दोस 10,000 स्टूडेंट्स। इफ एवरी 10 लाख स्टूडेंट इज डूइंग परफेक्टली वेल, वो अपनी लाइफ में सब कुछ सही कर रहा है, उसमें से वो 10,000 बच्चे ऐसे कौन से हैं, क्यों हैं, जो फाइनली जाके IIT में या मेडिकल एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में सक्सीड करते हैं? हम आज वो समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, क्योंकि ये मैं जानता हूं कि आप उस 10 लाख में तो श्योर है, 10 लाख के आप तो उस 1 लाख में भी हैं। क्योंकि वो बच्चे जो मेरे ट्राइबल स्कूल्स के बच्चे, जहां पर इंटरनेट की प्रॉब्लम है, जहां पर डिवाइसेस की प्रॉब्लम है, जहां पर टीचर्स की प्रॉब्लम है, जब मेट्रो सिटीज के अंदर स्कूल्स कॉलेजेस नहीं चल पाए, तो आपके डिपार्टमेंट ने, EMRS ने एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट पुट इन करके, मिस्टर सौरभ जैन, आई थैंक हिम, ही इज एन IAS ऑफिसर हु टुक दिस डिसीजन, मिसेस मनीषा वर्मा, who decided that this is the best time when my students of the EMRS of the tribal schools can actually use this app. और संभव कराया उन्होंने। और मैं शाबाशी देता हूं आप सबको कि इंटरनेट ना हो, डिवाइस ना हो, उसके बावजूद मुझे जब पता चला मेरी टीम से कि बच्चे दूसरे घरों में जाके उनका मोबाइल लेके उसमें ऐप को डाउनलोड करके उसको यूज करके डैशबोर्ड पे उनका रिजल्ट आता था, इससे अच्छी फीलिंग। तो ये वही बच्चे हैं, तो आप वो डेफिनेटली उस कैटेगरी में बच्चे आते हैं जिनके अंदर पैशन है, वो है ना फायर इन द बेली, जिनके अंदर वो आग है। तो मैं एक ऐसी स्टोरी सुनाता हूं। तो एक बार मैं रांची गया, डीपीएस रांची। तो करीब 3-3:30 बजे मेरी फ्लाइट लैंड करी। तो मेरा मार्केटिंग वाला कहता है कि सर चलिए आपको स्कूल लेके चलते हैं। मैंने कहा शाम के स्कूल, इस समय स्कूल, कौन सा स्कूल? कहता सर उनकी इवनिंग शिफ्ट है। मैंने सोचा झारखंड में, रांची में शाम की शिफ्ट में पता नहीं कितने बच्चे आएंगे। फिर उसने मुझे याद दिलाया, कहता सर वो शिद्धिकांत जो बच्चा है वो आप ही का स्टूडेंट है, वो पटना से ही था। तो ये चीज मेरे हमेशा दिमाग में रहती थी कि ऐसा क्या है बिहार में, ऐसा क्या है झारखंड में। और अब तो वो चीज हर स्टेट में दिखाई देती है कि वहां से लगातार बच्चे सिलेक्ट होते हैं। तो बच्चों अब यकीन मानिएगा मेरे अंदर पहली फीलिंग आई, शायद बच्चे वहां चीटिंग करते हो। ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? मैं उस मानसिक स्थिति से पहुंचा। तो जब उसने कहा कि शाम को सेमिनार है, तो आई वॉज नॉट वेरी श्योर हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स विल कम। तो मैं स्कूल पहुंचा, 5th फ्लोर पे मैं चढ़ के ऊपर गया और वहां नीचे दरिया बिछी हुई। तो मैं और श्योर हो गया कि यार ये तो चेयर्स ही नहीं है, लाइट भी प्रॉपर नहीं है और टीचर भी नहीं है। ये बच्चे सीरियस होंगे नहीं, सिंसियर होंगे ही नहीं। मैं उनसे 1 घंटे तक बात करता रहा। बीच में मुझे ध्यान आया, मैंने पूछा एक बात बताइए, आप क्लास 11th के स्टूडेंट्स हैं? कहते सर यस सर। मैंने कहा आप में से कितने ऐसे बच्चे हैं जिनके मैथ्स में 100 में से 100 नंबर आए 10th में? बच्चों आप यकीन मानिएगा करीब वो 500 बच्चे थे। 495 स्टूडेंट्स रेज देयर हैंड्स। मैंने कहा भाई साहब, मैंने कहा 100 में से 100, सुना आपने सवाल? किसी ने हाथ ही नीचे नहीं किया। मुझे और पक्का विश्वास हो गया कि यहाँ चीटिंग ही होती होगी। ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? ना ये बच्चे कोई सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, ना ये इंटरेस्टेड लग रहे हैं, और इतने सारे बच्चों को 10th में। दिल्ली के स्कूलों में, मेट्रो के स्कूल में बच्चों को इतना अच्छा रिजल्ट नहीं आता। तो जब मेरा सेमिनार खत्म हो गया तो आई थॉट आई अचीव, मुझे पता चल गया कुछ नहीं है। अब देखिए मेरी आंखें कैसे खुली। उसमें से एक बच्चा, चुपचाप बैठे थे, सेमिनार खत्म हुआ और लाइन बना के वापस जा रहे थे। तो एक बच्चा मुड़ता है मेरे पास, कहता सर बड़े कॉन्फिडेंस है। कहा बेटो बोलो बेटा। सर एक बात बताइए, सिद्धिकांत भैया नंबर कितना पाए थे? हमने कहा क्या जानोगे उससे, सिद्धिकांत तो टॉपर है। और जनरली मुझसे बच्चे ये सवाल पूछते हैं कि सर सिलेक्ट होने के लिए मार्क्स कितने चाहिए? ये कैसा बेगुदा सवाल हुआ? टॉपर के मार्क्स क्यों जानना चाहते हो? तो मैंने यही पूछा, टॉपर के मार्क्स जान के क्या करेगा? सर बताइए ना प्लीज सर। हमने कहा 435 नंबर पाए थे। तो क्या बोलता है हमसे कि सर 435, 435, सर 436 नंबर आएगा, हमारा सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा सर। मैं कहा श्योर हो जाएगा। मैंने सोचा इस बच्चे ने ये नहीं पूछा पढ़ाई कैसे करूं, कब पढ़ाई करूं, ये सीधा उसी बात को क्यों कर रहा है। मैंने पूछा बेटा आपके पिताजी करते क्या है? सर इसी स्कूल के अंदर पानी पिलाने का काम करते हैं। That boy finally got a rank AIR 26. ये वो 10,000 वाले बच्चे हैं। एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक दिया गई, they are sure about the goal. उन्हें डायरेक्टली पता है, उनको पता है कि मुझे सिर्फ यही पहुंचना है। तो वो गोल, जिसको कि आप टारगेट भी बोल सकते हैं, इट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। अब ये टारगेट कैसे अचीव करना है, ये हो जाएगा सर। टारगेट क्या है पहले ये बताइए सर। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड नो व्हाट आवर टारगेट इज। हमारा टारगेट क्या है, उसके लिए आपको ये जानना जरूरी है कि ये एग्जाम कंडक्ट कैसे होता है, प्रोसेसेस क्या होते हैं। डू यू हैव द पीपीटी रेडी? कैन यू प्ले द पीपीटी? सो जस्ट गिव मी 30 seconds चिल्ड्रन। आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू अ पीपीटी वेयर एग्जाम्स के बारे में, बोर्ड एग्जाम्स के बारे में, जेई के बारे में आपको एक बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी। पहले वो समझते हैं, उसके बाद कैसे उसको अचीव करना है, पेस आपकी कैसे हेल्प करेगा, स्टेपअप आपकी कैसे हेल्प करेगा। क्योंकि ये एक सेमिनार खत्म होने के बाद मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछने वाला हूं, और जो बच्चा उस सवाल का सही जवाब देगा वो आज इस सभा से, इस वेबिनार से 10,000 रुपए जीत के जाएगा आपसे एक क्लास में। लेकिन उसके लिए आपको वेबिनार को ध्यान से सुनना पड़ेगा। So let my team member will just play the PPT, and then in next 30 seconds we'll get back to you. Yes, you can do it. Yes. So, Acha, Girish and Vaishnavi, can you open your cameras, please? I and Simran, all of you basically, because मैं दिखाना चाहता हूं कि बच्चों को किन लोगों से बात करनी है अगर उनको कोई दिक्कत आती है.
Sure, sir. Just a second.
So Girish is an extraordinary talented boy, and he's handling implementation. तो ये सारे STEPapp की जानकारी आप तक जो पहुंचाती है वो टीम, मैं आपको इस टीम से मिलवाता हूं. गिरीश, can you open your cameras? वैष्णवी?
Yes, sir. Just a second. I'm checking.
Simran?
Yes, sir. Just trying to open.
Yeah. No, not an issue. So अब जब मेरे को पता चला ना कि मेरा वेबिनार है, तो मैंने वैष्णवी से कहा, मैंने कहा half an hour पहले, वैष्णवी, give me a presentation. And look at this. She gave me a presentation in 20 minutes. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you very much. I mean, this shows your love and passion for these children. आप कभी किसी के लिए कुछ काम करते हो जब आप उससे जुड़ जाते हो. So ये जो STEPapp की टीम है, इनके मन में सिर्फ ये MRS के बच्चे ही घूमते रहते हैं हर वक्त. मैं इनसे जब भी बात करता हूँ, सर वो पेरेंट फोन नहीं उठा रहे, सर वहां तक हम रीच आउट नहीं कर पा रहे. So I wanted this entire team to come in front of you. And then let us start with this. So this is digital pace. Now I don't want to confuse you. STEPapp is a baby, an app which was created by a team of more than 450 IITians and doctors. The whole team is they teach in an institute called PACE IIT and Medical, which is run by our founder, our managing director, Mr. Praveen Tyagi, who's a BTech from IIT Delhi. An extremely passionate person, an extremely passionate teacher, and a very popular physics teacher, by the way. So it is his brainchild. He wanted to do something for the children who are meritorious, who are underprivileged, who cannot reach out to a coaching institute. He said, Sandeep, I have a mechanism. I want to teach these tribal students. And that is what PACE represents. So PACE IIT and Medical is a branch which deals with the coaching of meritorious students for all competitive exams. STEPapp is a baby of PACE IIT and Medical, which is primarily for students who are preparing for the board exams, for the school exams, for a conceptual clarity in a gamified format, in a format. So digital PACE is about training students like you online through, the mechanism will be online. That is why we call it digital PACE. So we all formally welcome you, all of you, by the way. Now, for students who are in class 10, because we know for sure that pre-COVID, things were defined, सब चीजें clear थी, पेपर इतने घंटे का होगा, ऐसे होगा. कोविड में आने के बाद सब अस्त व्यस्त हो गया. पिछली बार तो स्थिति ये हो गई कि 12वीं क्लास के बच्चों का रिजल्ट सीबीएसई बोर्ड को डिक्लेयर करने के लिए, क्योंकि उन्होंने फाइनल एग्जाम्स नहीं लिए थे, तो उनको क्लास 10th के, क्लास 11th के मार्क्स लेने थे. इसलिए बच्चों ये भी ध्यान रखिएगा जो क्लास 10th में है, कि जब आप 12th के एग्जाम देंगे और अगर ऐसी ही कोई सिचुएशन आती है कि जब टेस्ट ऑनलाइन होंगे, तो आपके 10th क्लास के मार्क्स, आपके 11th क्लास के मार्क्स, आपके 12th क्लास के रेगुलर मार्क्स, क्लास वर्क्स, होमवर्क्स will play a very, very important role. So take all your exams extremely seriously. try to score as many marks as possible. So, CBSE 10th board exams. So, the first question generally people ask is, when will the CBSE 10th class exams commence? जानना चाहते हैं आप कि इम्तिहान कब होने वाले हैं? The CBSE class 10th term 1. अब देखिए हुआ क्या है, कोविड से पहले और कोविड के बाद एक सिचुएशन में फर्क आया, आप वैसे मेरे से बेहतर जानते होंगे, लेकिन वो बच्चे जो नहीं जानते उनको मैं जानकारी दे दूं। तो शुरुआत में कोविड से पहले क्लास 10th में पूरा 10th का सिलेबस आता था और क्लास 12th में भी पूरा 12th का सिलेबस आता था, लेकिन अब टर्म 1 टर्म 2 कर दिया गया है। अब जो आपका एग्जाम जिस सिलेबस पे लिया जाएगा वो टर्म 2 का सिलेबस होगा, which is clearly mentioned here that term 2 board exams. Now this is important. तो टर्म 2 का सिलेबस क्या है वो हमें जानना जरूरी है, और ये समझ लीजिएगा कि जैसे एग्जाम्स पहले हुए थे अब एग्जाम्स का पैटर्न चेंज हो गया है, तो उन सवालों को कैसे अटेम्प्ट करना है वो आपको ठीक समझाएंगे बाद में, लेकिन पहले ये समझ लीजिए कि इस साल टर्म 2 का सिलेबस पहले आइडेंटिफाई मैं आपको भेज दूंगा, आई विल सेंड यू अ पीडीएफ आल्सो व्हिच विल टेल यू कौन कौन से टॉपिक्स आ रहे हैं, उनकी क्या मार्किंग स्कीम्स है, उनकी वेटेज कितनी है, किस तरह के सवाल होते हैं, आपको सैंपल पेपर्स भी हम जरूर देंगे। ये सब स्टेप ऐप आपके लिए करने के लिए तैयार है, बिकॉज यू बिलीव्ड इन द ऐप, यू वर्कड फॉर दिस ऐप, यू यूज्ड दिस ऐप, सो वी थैंक यू फॉर ऑल दिस। सो दिस विल हैपन समवेयर अबाउट मार्च एंड अप्रैल। द डेट्स हैवंट कम, दे आर नॉट डिसाइडेड येट, बट टेंटेटिवली मार्च एंड अप्रैल रहेगा। What is the syllabus that will be covered in 10 boards? So the CBSE 10th second term syllabus will have 50% syllabus and a traditional examination format. There will be a 2 hours of the CBSE term 2 paper will be subject specific questions. Students should obtain a grade higher than, now what is this E? E represents 33% marks. So this is very important, rider. Students should obtain a grade higher than 33% in all the 5 subjects in order to qualify for the 10th results 2022. The passing marks for each subject is 30 to 33%. CBSE syllabus for term 2 includes only the content that has not been covered in term 1. तो term 1 का कोई भी चीज नहीं आएगा, लेकिन term 1 के कुछ टॉपिक्स अगर आपके रह गए हैं तो वो आपके term 2 के या फाइनल एग्जाम्स में, बोर्ड एग्जाम्स में जरूर आएंगे। वो सिलेबस जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा, उसकी मार्किंग स्कीम, टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस एंड एक सैंपल पेपर विद सॉल्यूशन विल बी प्रोवाइडेड टू यू। सो दैट्स पॉइंट नंबर 1। सो टर्म 2 CBSE 10th टेंटेटिव टाइम टेबल, एक बेसिक सा टाइम टेबल आप समझ सकते हैं। 6th March tentative date. The subjects will be English, language, literature. Then you have Hindi on the 10th. Then you have science, theory without practicals on the 21st. तो आप देखिए टाइम आपको यहाँ बहुत मिल रहा है, थोड़ा सा अगर आप ध्यान दो तो। वैसे तो मैं आज तक मेरी ये नहीं समझ में आया कि हर साल बोर्ड एग्जाम्स में पहला पेपर इंग्लिश ही होता है, ये पता। $10 days. So you have a lot of time. So even if you have not done your science properly till now, do not worry, because you have 10 big days. And if you are willing, अगर आपकी इच्छा है तो इन 10 दिनों में 1 या 2 सेशंस, 1 या 2 दिन STEPapp पेस के टीचर्स आपको वो सेशंस देंगे, आपके वो कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर कराएंगे, आपको जहां जहां दिक्कतें आती हैं वो दिक्कत दूर करेंगे। वो 10 दिन काफी टाइम होता है किसी भी टॉपिक को करने का, और 10th के अंदर, साइंस के अंदर 8 या 10 ही तो चैप्टर है। तो भाई अगर एक चैप्टर को एक रात भी दे दी, क्योंकि हमें तो IIT में ये आदत थी भाई, एग्जाम से पहले हम लोग मस्त रहते थे, जिस दिन एग्जाम होता था उस रात को सारे पेपर, सब पढ़ाई उसी रात को होती है। डोंट फॉलो दिस, दिस इज नॉट एन आइडियल सिचुएशन, बट ऐसा भी होता है। तो 10 दिन में 10 चैप्टर्स अगर ना भी किए हो, पॉसिबल है। Then if you see this, then you have social studies, and that is quite a number of days. 6 days you have. And social science को 6 दिन चाहिए नहीं, अगर आपने कभी भी इसको हाथ नहीं लगाया तो 6 दिन जरूर चाहिए होंगे, लेकिन अगर आपने इसको छुआ है, देखा है, कुछ पढ़ा है, 6 is a good enough thing. Now this is very important because in 10th it's very less of science, it's very less of social sciences, थोड़ी बहुत है, but mathematics is one topic, is one subject. पूरे हिंदुस्तान में हर माँ बाप को यह जरूर जानना होता है कि भाई तेरे बोर्ड में मैथ्स में कितने नंबर आए। तो मैथ्स ना एक हमारी ना शान, आन बान शान की बात हो जाती है। सो मैथमेटिक्स डेफिनेटली इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट। सो इफ यू सी 27 से 2 के बीच में there are almost like 4 days, so you do not have too much of time here. यहाँ समय आपके पास कम है। Are you understanding what I'm saying? Oh, अरे भाई सुनो, मैंने सोचा यार I have to speak more in Hindi. Now I'm told I have to speak in English. Thank you very much. See, feedback is very important. I can't see you, you can only see me. So now I'm going to use English more often because I was feeling that I should use more Hindi. So that means if you see this, so you have 11 days here, but you have only 4 to 5 days here for mathematics. Now you might need more time for mathematics. So जब आपके पास ये, when you have this difference of, when you have these 11, if your mathematics is lagging behind, because mathematics takes a lot of time, you need to first understand the subject, then you need to practice those questions, and it takes time. Mathematics is a tough subject. So if you feel that the number of days here are less, then you can pick 1 or 2 days and prepare your mathematics between 10th and 21st. So this is for your 10th, class 10th, tentative timetable. This is the timetable which is given to you by the boards, by the CBSE. But this is one timetable which I have given you. So for everyone, these 11 days or 10 days is for science. But for STEPapp students, for my students, for PAY students, they know that I'm going to spend 2 days in mathematics because I haven't done it earlier. I'm going to do it now and then spend time in science. So this is good enough time, lot of time, nothing to worry about. Now, CBSE, 10th, class 10th, what is the grade system? I mean, how do you get your grades? So what is the marking scheme for class 10th boards? So in the CBSE term 2 exams, you will have subjective types of questions of marks 2, 3, and 4. Now, this is extremely important. We talk about subjective questions. I'm not very sure that if these subjective questions have to be evaluated online, how easy is going to be, since if the situation doesn't change. But in a perfect situation, you can go to a school, write your test, write any exam you want to, but I don't know how good it would be, but you need to be prepared that the questions will be purely subjective. So you need to practice now. Practice makes a man perfect. You don't need to, you need to practice the derivations in science, the derivations in mathematics, write them, see what mistake you've done, because writing key practice, the practice to write also takes a lot of time. So I would suggest, so while you're solving questions, don't just scribble them. Don't solve them in 1 or 2 steps. Write proper steps for few questions, because that is going to prepare you for your final subjective exams. Then what is the class 10th timetable? So as I said, the examination should start somewhere from the 4th of March to the 7th of March. I mean, tentative dates between 4th or 7th. Time tentatively would be 10:30 to 1:30. This is generally prescribed. Now, how do you prepare yourself? How do you prepare for your board exams? So you all have NCERT, or you have your textbook. In the NCERT, when you read the NCERT, go read every line of your course book like you read any scripture. The way you read, you want to read anything, or एक चीज और ध्यान रखना, just keep this in mind, that the moment you get attached to a particular subject, the moment you start believing that, yes, I need to understand the subject, automatically the love for the subject will grow. And when you start loving what you're doing, then I don't have to tell you that you have to read every line, because every line of NCERT is extremely, extremely important. There are solved examples which you really need to solve. Very important. Solved examples need to be solved very, very carefully. Don't think that you can just read those, because you will have questions directly from solved examples. Then you have an exercise at the back, very important. But before you do all this, I would suggest, first of all, suppose you want to study in science light, go to your STEPapp, go through those concepts once, see types of questions which are coming, then go to your NCERT and see the topics which you feel you need to still do, go back, study harder, solve more questions which are solved examples, subjective, and practice them. Write them on a notebook, the whole solution, with every point which is important, because every step carries marks. In a subjective question, there are steps involved. When a teacher evaluates a paper, he or she would see those important points, whether you have written or not. And NCERT is the perfect book to understand those topics. Anyways, I will give you some sample papers. We will share some sample papers and their solutions. We'll tell you how a topper last year in class 10 attempted the paper. So you would exactly know where you have to and what you have to write and where you have to study from. So this is regarding 10. Okay, practical. So this is very important. What is class 10 date sheet 2022 for practical exams? So as per CBSE 10th exam pattern, practical examinations will be for 30 marks. First of all, you know that, right? 70-30. The exam date for the CBSE class 10 practicals is released by the respective schools. This is going to come from your schools itself. Your schools will tell you. They will tell you when your exams need to. When will you have your practical exams? The marks are being allocated on the basis of experiments, Viva. I think in certain schools the Viva would have started. And now this is very interesting. How do you prepare for a Viva? How do we prepare for a practical exam? So first thing, you need to complete your practical files. Because if you don't complete your practical files, your teachers are going to ask you. So prepare your practical files. That's point number one. Point number two, when you study those practicals, read the theory and the derivations very, very carefully. Because the questions will be based on the conceptual clarity, and that is where STEPapp is going to help you again. For you, when you have to prepare for your Viva, for your practicals, the best way is to study is through STEPapp, because that is going to tell you all the major points. Next. Now we come to class 12 board exams. Now, before I take this PPT further, I want to discuss a topic with you. Or let's complete this, and then I'll give you that question. Girish, what do you say? I give them a question now or later?
I think one question we can, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But how would we come to know the response of the children? I mean, how would I know that?
We are responding. We are checking the chat, sir.
Wonderful. So guys, students, I'm going to ask you a question. First question, 1,000 rupees. Or jaise the moment the level increases, the money will keep increasing, and Girish sir will pay you all that money through his Paytm, because he's handling this project.
Done, sir.
So, and you need to answer that question on your chat box, in your chat box. So, okay. Are we all ready for the question? So this question will give you 1,000 rupees, and you can use your phono friend, because your parents, your brothers, sisters, sab aas paas hi honge. I don't mind anybody participating, but the idea is I want to see how you participate. How much is your participation level? Now, there is one question which everybody asks me. What is the difference when a student prepares for his board exams and when he prepares for his IIT or medical entrance exams? Similarities. Let us see the similarities. The course book for your board exams is NCERT. The syllabus is from the NCERT. And the course book and the syllabus for your IIT as well as medical preparation is also NCERT. How lovely. So that means when you study NCERT properly, you don't just take care of it doesn't just take care of your board exams, it actually takes care of all your competitive exams preparation requirements. But the question is, what is the difference? What is the difference in approach when you have to prepare for your exam, competitive exams, vis-a-vis your board exam? So for example, I'll take a question. So the basic underlining factor is that for both the exams, you need to be clear as far as the conceptual clarity is concerned. So let us first take a situation which will help you both boards and JEE. I want to see how conceptually clear are we. So I'm going to take a question which is so much, हमने बहुत बार सुना है. So I'm going to talk about concept of friction, the force of friction. We studied the concept of friction in class 6th, then 7th, then 8th, then 9th, then 10th. We do it in 11th and then 12th. And boys and girls, the same question of friction was the first question which was asked in the JEE mains exam. Can you believe it? So there is something special about friction, because from 6th to going into IIT or medical entrance exam, this question is discussed. You will understand in the next 3 to 4 minutes why I'm talking so great about this concept of friction and why it's so important. So the question is, if I want to walk towards east, so there is east, west, north, and south. Say, suppose I want to walk in the direction of east, in the east direction, then what will be the direction of frictional force between my feet and the floor? What will be the direction of frictional force? Will it be east, that is along the direction of motion? Will it be west, opposite to the direction of motion? That's my question. So when I start moving towards east, my direction of motion is towards east. The force of friction, according to you, is going to be along east, that is along the direction of motion, or opposite to it. And your time starts now. And I'm going to select the student who gives it at the fastest and gives me correct answer wins 1,000 rupees. Girish, just monitor this, please.
Yes, so we are getting the answer west.
Carry on. Okay. बच्चों पार्टिसिपेट करना. अगर हम पार्टिसिपेट ही नहीं करेंगे, if you don't participate, how will we win? To win a competition, you need to participate in the competition, and there is nobody who's judging you. There is nobody who will find a fault in you, not me, not my team, but I want you to at least try, think, and answer. This is the first step to become successful in life, is to be seen. So please, WhatsApp, message me the answer. It's extremely important for me. All my students of class 10 and class 12 can participate in this contest. Anybody else, Girish?
Yeah, we got our answer east as well.
East. Who said east? What's his name?
Shailendra.
Along the direction of walk. Shailendra Salavar says that it will be in the direction of walk. Okay. Carry on, carry on. I want to see more answers. Soni Sareen says east. Wonderful. East. I mean, Girish, I think Praveen Tyagi sir will be extremely happy, because this is, students, you would not believe this. I've been asking these questions in so many of my webinars, and 99% students say that if you have to move in the direction of east, the force of friction will be towards west. This is the only batch of students which is giving the correct answer as their first attempt. I'm proud of all of you. You're fantastic. I mean, that means STEPapp has really worked for you. I'm so happy. So please talk in. Yes, I am. I've started doing that. Any other answers? I would love to see your answers, please. So everybody is saying east. Now I'll explain you why everybody mentions it as west and not as east. Let's all understand that. Now, in every book, this is written that friction always opposes motion. That is, the direction of friction is always opposite to the direction of motion. This is written, or this is understood by most of the students. So which means when I say that I am moving towards east, The answer which should come to my mind is because I am moving towards east, frictional force is opposite to the direction of motion. Therefore, the force of friction should be towards west. This looks so logical, but you did not mention this because east is the right answer. I'll explain you how. Now, this explanation is also very important. Now, what happens is you can try this experiment while you are in your homes. Now, if I ask you, if I want to move in the forward direction, what will I do? I'll move my foot, I'll move my feet, I'll place it on ground. And if I have to move forward, then I will push the floor backwards. My leg will try, if I have to move forward, so jo mera foot hai, the foot which is touching, the part of my body which is touching the ground, will try to push the floor backwards. And the floor, because of Newton's third law of motion, will push me forward. What is this force? This is force of friction. So which means if I have to move towards east, I will push the floor backwards, that is west, and the floor will push me forward. And this forward force is nothing but the force of friction. Therefore, you mentioned it correctly, that if I have to move towards east, the force of friction has to be towards east. Wonderful. All of you done fantastically well. इसके बाद एक और सवाल आएगा. Next question is going to be on ray optics. So be prepared for it. I hope you're all liking the session. Your yes or no will motivate me to speak more and more. So I want to see your comments. Are you enjoying the session? Are you liking the session? Is it making some sense to you? Is it helping you? Thank you. Yes, sir. Neha says yes, sir. Prerna also says yes. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This feedback is extremely important. So now I'm going to move to class 12 board exams. So when will the CBSE class 12 exams commence? CBSE class 12 board exams will be conducted in the month of March and April. This is a tentative date. Abhi hum February, we are sitting in February, almost like 5th of February. And the exams, they say, is going to be in March. So maybe 2nd, 3rd, 5th of March. We are left with less than 20 days. So guys, we need to, so the countdown begins now. The countdown begins now. We will take this exam very, very seriously, irrespective of the results. We are going to enjoy our process of learning. We are going to enjoy writing these exams. We are going to understand what is asked in these exams, and we'll give the correct answers. That should be the approach whenever you come with any challenging situation in your lives. So what is the syllabus that will be covered in 12 board exams? Logical. With the duration of 2 hours, the question paper will have case-based, situation-based, open-ended, short answers. Oh God. It looks very dangerous. What are they going to ask us? So it says case-based, situation-based, open-ended, short answer questions. Now, this exactly means questions based on conceptual clarity. It only means the same. It only is for if I add all these terms and use one adjective or a one word, it means we need to be sure about our conceptual clarity. Class 12 students, I would request you, please use STEPapp to understand those basic concepts. I can give you to in writing so many years of my teaching experience. If it comes to conceptual clarity and to a certain extent, how to solve these concepts, how to use this concept, to use numericals, use STEPapp. This is being used by all the Kendriya Vidyalaya students across the country, the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya students, by all of you. And we've got wonderful feedback regarding its conceptual clarity and how it helps to write your board exams or to solve numerical problems. So ye pura 3-4 words, all these 3-4 words actually mean conceptual clarity. Use STEPapp. And I'm not promoting STEPapp, by the way. I actually believe in it. As a physics teacher, I would only advise you things which I believe in myself. And I'm telling you, You're going to use it. The dashboard is going to give us a report, and that's going to make our life so simple in helping you and your teachers helping you out. Right? If you go to a doctor, आप एक doctor के पास गए, and the doctor says, "Why did you come?" He said, "Just like that." Just like that, because I saw your board. So it was written, Dr. Girish Basrani, MBBS MD. I liked your board and I entered. You would say, "Are you mad? Why would a board attract you and you will like to come and meet me?" So then the patient says, then the doctor asks him, "Okay, tell me, what is your problem?" And the patient says, "Yes, I have a problem. It is in my body. Find out." Doctor says, "Why should I find out?" Who's the doctor? You. Who's taking the money? You. So you tell me where the problem is. Does this ever happen with you? No, it never happens with you. Because when you go to a doctor, you exactly tell him what is the problem, where is the problem, why is this problem, because you want to live, so you want to tell everything to the doctor. Similarly, when you write an answer to a question, what you are thinking, how you're attempting, how much time are you taking to solve this problem, how many attempts you do make to solve it correctly. All this data helps teachers like us to tell you what's wrong with you. So I am not a doctor. I can't go to every student and ask him, and I can't, मैं stethoscope भी लगा के देख सकता कि इसको how much does he know or he doesn't know. So the dashboard of STEPapp is that tool, is the time you spent on the app, what have you learned, what have you not learned, where have you done those mistakes, are all recorded. And when they reach your teachers in schools, and they reach your principal, and they reach people like us who teach you, life becomes so simple. We exactly know where the problem is, and we can directly go and reach to the solution. That's what my take is. Okay, now, so then you have long questions. So when you say long questions, they mean, you actually mean derivations. So you have ray optics. They're very important derivations in this. You have modern physics in physics, very important derivations. And in those derivations are hidden the questions. So when you solve a numerical problem, these derivations are actually going to help you in solving numerical problems. Please do not take derivations non-seriously. Yaad nahi karna. You don't have to cram them. You need to understand them. And if you find any difficulty in any subject, I give you my word from Mr. Tyagi's side. You just have to tell my team that this is the topic I want to do. My team will put in all their efforts to ensure every student of tribal school, I want to listen to this news after 6 months that this bunch of class 10th and 12th, these students made it big, made every one of us proud. And what you have to do is just communicate your problem. That's so simple. It is so simple. Don't get stressed out. For any problems, we're there for you. So this is the basic knowledge about the timetabling and everything. And Girish, why don't you send this PDF to all my students, by the way? That will make its life so simple.
Sure, sir, I'll send.
You can do that? Why don't you do it right away?
Yes, give me a minute. I'll do that.
Do it right away. Do it right away. See you tomorrow. And
Done, sir.
you've done that? Fantastic. So I would, this will reach you. Now, some discussion about the JEE mains exam and the medical entrance exam. Now, JEE has a huge history. I want you to all understand the essence of this examination. When it started, when this entrance exam thing started, there was a time when there was a conflict between a student who's preparing for board exams versus a student preparing for competitive exams. there was a line, a thin line. People who were preparing for board exams, they thought you have to remember derivations, you have to practice more and more, you have to somehow score 95%, 98% marks. So on the day of examination, you vomit everything, whatever you've taken in. And students who are preparing for entrance exam, they feel no derivations. I need to focus more on numerical ability. So this conflict was going on. And government was always in a dilemma that what do we promote? Pace. 15 years back, decided that a school student who doesn't want to attend school, but wants to prepare for coaching, does not attend school, come to coaching, and there is always a conflict. So Mr. Tyagi decided, instead of students coming to me, my teachers will go and teach the students in the school. And came a concept of integrated program, where a student staying in the campus can do both. And later on, by grace of God and the results which PACE gave, the PACE centers were converted into PACE junior science colleges. Now, in PACE junior science colleges, a student prepares for both his school exams and competitive exams. And the testing, the examination was conducted by the CBSE board. Few years back, the whole process of conduction went from the CBSE board to the National Testing Agency. Now, this is a very important fact you have to understand. Now, there are students from the ICSE board, there are students from the SSE board, and there are students from the CBSE board. So the CBSE board students always felt good that because they are in the CBSE board, they are being taught the CBSE way, and the examination is also conducted by CBSE. So it was felt that they were always at an advantageous situation. So to clear this air, the government decided that this exam will be conducted by a separate, an independent entity called the National Testing Agency, where Mr. Vineet Joshi is heading this organization. And incidentally, Vineet sir's son was a student at PACE. So it is because of being a parent also that I have the access to information. If there is something which is not clear to my students, I'll pick up my phone, and if I ask him, he would always reply. And because he was a student of PACE, his son was a PACE student. So National Testing Agency now conducts this exam. So till a few years back, I'm discussing board versus the entrance exam. 75% was the criteria that you have to achieve 75% marks in your board exams. Only then you qualify for the JEE Mains. वो हटा के दिया है. It is no more there. You just need to clear your board exams to qualify for JEE Mains or NEET. The percentage criteria has been removed. It happened just 2 years back, or maybe just 1 year back. And the best part of the whole thing was that this war between schooling, the board exams versus IIT, the NTA decided that the type of questions we are going to ask in JEE were conceptual based. So the boards also decided that the best way to teach a student is a conceptual way. Numerical ability and certain derivations, there are only three ways to teach a student. So the focus now is more of understanding. So now this differentiation, this difference between a student preparing for school exams versus students preparing for entrance exams is no more there. The course book is same. The syllabus is same. The way you study for both the exams is more or less same. It is how you attempt a paper. That pattern of writing an examination could be different. For that, we will practice you. We'll make you practice all those things. So when you're preparing, मैं इसीलिए आपको बताना चाहता हूं, why I wanted to keep this webinar is that when you are studying for your board exams, please do it with heart and soul. Not to cram it. Because you're going to use this. Whatever you understand in NCERT is going to be a great use when you prepare for your entrance exams. So I want, take your board exam seriously. Understand you have STEPapp. We will give you sample papers for the board exams. We will take some classes if you want for your board exams on specific topics, on how to write an exam, how to score marks. Once you're done with your board exams, now comes the biggest news story of this webinar. And this is why I invited all of you. Students who do well or who have done well, आप वो बच्चे हैं. Out of all the students who had used STEPapp, the students who have shown their interest, passion towards learning, all those students on the dashboard, on the dashboard of STEPapp, we got those numbers, we called you, and on behalf of STEPapp and Mr. Praveen Tyagi, founder, CEO of STEPapp and PACE IIT and Medical, all students of class 12 who want to prepare for their engineering and medical entrance exam, the moment your board exams get over, STEPapp and PACE IIT and Medical, Mr. Praveen Tyagi, are going to train all those students completely free of cost, online. The best teachers of PACE are going to train you sitting at home for both JEE, for JEE Advanced. We did this last year. In the last time, I got, say, around 40 students. I trained them for 3-4 months. They, out of those 30-40 students, 30-35 students, 26 cleared the JEE Advanced. And out of the 26 students who were selected by Maharashtra government, were trained at Vagar PACE Global School, my own CBSE school. Out of those 26, 24 got selected into the JEE Advanced. And out of them, 13 students have got cleared JEE Advanced. Can you believe this? So I am completely sure that if I have you students who are very determined, who have limited resources, who still want to do something, we come forward to provide you with quality education for your JEE and NEET preparation for students of class 12. Now coming to class 10 students. The students who do well or who take their preparation seriously and have shown interest and have shown their performance on STEPapp, those students, 50 of them, 50 of the top students of class 10 will be trained completely free of cost for 2 years by PACE IIT and Medical. And 50 students will be trained for medical entrance exam preparation. Out of these 100 students, 50 students definitely will be girl child students. Okay, na? You don't have to pay 6 lakh rupees per year, 5 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees. You don't have to pay a single penny. And you know why I'm doing this? मैं आपके ऊपर कोई एहसान नहीं कर रहा. This is no obligation. You have proved your mettle. To come for a webinar, you have shown your keenness to be able to listen to what I'm saying. You have shown that you have passion. And to listen to me and prepare accordingly, do it. We will all do it together. So now, the canvas is big. Now you study, whether you're in Chhindwara, wherever you are in a remotest area, in a tribal area, in wherever form of education you're having till now, in consensus with the EMRS, your tribal department, Mr. Asit Gopal is a wonderful, wonderful commissioner who sits in Delhi. He's from IIT Mumbai. He shares the same passion. The EMRS, the principals of the schools, STEPapp, PACE, we all will come together to ensure that every child who aspires to become a Parag Agarwal, who recently became the CEO of Twitter, was previously the CTO of Twitter, was a student who studied at PACE. Mr. Praveen Tyagi himself taught him physics. He was the first international gold physics Olympiad. He got the first international gold Olympiad for India across the world. Similarly for mathematics. He couldn't give chemistry because the examination date was clashing. He's the boy, Parag Agarwal, who makes us so proud. He's an Indian and studied with us, with teachers like us, around us. So that is what our feeling is. That is what the government says. That is what your tribal department, your principals, teachers, parents, us, we all feel. That we'll hone you, that we'll hone your skills and create more and more Parag Agrawals who can make all of us, our family, our people, our country proud. Thank you very much. You heard me, and I can see 350 students still watching the whole show. It is very, very heartwarming. Thank you very much. Good job done, Girish. I'm very happy. Vaishnavi, fantastic. Simran, all good job done. Now, please ensure that in these times, these students are given STEPapp links for those topics which are going to come in their school exams, in their board exams. Help them out. And if there are students who want some classes, we will give them classes. And once they are finished with their board exams, we'll start preparing for their competitive exam preparation also. Thank you, all of you.
There are few
God bless. Take care of your health. Or let's do it.
Sandeep sir, Sandeep sir, there are few questions from students.
हाँ जी.
One asked, depression में कैसे पढ़ा जाए?
किसमें?
Depression.
Depression. अब मैं तुम्हें एक बात बताता हूँ. I'll tell you one very, very interesting thing. When I was at your age, I never heard of these terms called depression. I used to get depressed if I was not able to solve one problem. Suppose I'm solving 5 problems of physics and I could not solve one of them. And I picked up the phone and I asked my friend, hello, Sumit, did you solve those 5 questions? He said, yes. 5th also. हाँ, उधर से बोलता है वो, तुझसे नहीं हुआ क्या? अरे, this was depression for me. This is the depression for me. If I want to achieve something and something stops me, so I got depressed. I went to my father, like, Dad, my friend, my closest friend solved the question in one attempt, and I took 10-15 attempts to solve a problem. I'm so depressed. So he told me a story of a man who made the electric bulb. Can you tell me what was his name? Who created electric bulb? Let's see on the chat box. Who was the person who created electric bulb? Thomas Edison. Oh my God. I mean, I'm so impressed with you students. Koi Edison likhta tha, koi Thomas likhta tha, but you have written complete name. I'm so impressed. So my father told me, do you know how many attempts did he take to make a bulb? I said, no. He said he took more than 1 lakh attempts. And you know what happened, Sandeep? His assistant one day came and asked Edison, Edison, sir, please leave me. I mean, can you believe it? You've taken 1 lakh attempts to make an electric bulb. I feel so depressed that I'm your assistant. You know what Edison told him? He said, listen, the whole world would know one method to solve, to create electric bulb. One method to create electric bulb. I know so many of methods of how electric bulb is not created. I asked my father, my Dad, my depression has not gone. It has not gone. What does it mean? Edison took 1 lakh attempts. He did what? Mere se kya lena dena? Kehta, idiot, listen to me. When you solve those questions and you solved a particular question and you attempted it wrongly for 10 times and you finally solved it, now you know that 10 mistakes which you do not have to do. So when the real examination will come, you will not do those 10 mistakes. Your friend would. So my dear friends, don't get depressed. डिप्रेशन जब भी हो आप मुझको फोन कॉल कर दिया क्योंकि डिप्रेशन तो तभी होता है. इट्स अ स्टेट ऑफ माइंड. आई मीन इफ आई वांट टू फील हैप्पी, हु कैन स्टॉप मी टू बीइंग हैप्पी? टॉक पॉजिटिव, बिलीव इन योरसेल्फ. अब तो हम भी आपके साथ हैं, अब आप अकेले थोड़ी ना है. यू आर नॉट अलोन, वी आर विद यू. सो व्हेनेवर यू फील डिप्रेस्ड, यू फील दैट यू आर नॉट एबल टू डू इट और अभी कुछ होगा नहीं, please call us up. We are there for you. Vaishnavi, open a line where students can reach out to us with any problems they have for the next 1 month for sure.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
So we have another question from Anjana. Says that, sir, अगर कोई family problem की वजह से पढ़ने ना मिले और family support ना करे तो कैसे पढ़े?
Anjana, we have all come from backgrounds. Me and my brother, we have a 1-year difference with each other. You'd be surprised that in the first attempt, I did not get selected in IIT. My father was so worried. He was a professor of physics. That if you both get selected, how will I pay your fees? Because I had planned it that way that I will have some period, that I will have some gap. So whenever there is deficit of salary, जब father के पास पैसा कम होता है और घर के खर्चे ज्यादा होते हैं, people like us, people like you, know it that God has designed, we are designed by God that we are going to take our ownership ourselves. We need blessings of everyone, but we don't need anyone because nobody teaches you. You learn yourself. I mean, believe me, it is a motivational seminar, but I will never be able to motivate you if you don't want to get motivated. It is inside. The problem is not outside. We believe that people around us are going to help us make our life easy. It is us internally who have to make ourselves stronger. And hasn't COVID told us this? We lost so many people who were extremely close to us. But we survived. Why have we survived? We are going to create a new nation of people who are self-sufficient. I love this generation because of this reason. Because when my father asked me, what do you want to become, a doctor or an engineer? I wanted to become a doctor, but in the eyes of my father, I saw that he wanted me to become an engineer because he was a physicist. I became an engineer. And because I didn't want to become an engineer, I'm teaching physics. But in today's generation, you're very clear-headed. You know what you want. The problem is, how do you do it? STEPapp, PACE, EMRS, tribal department, they're all with you. This session, this bond of ours has started 1.5 years back when you started using STEPapp. And this bond will not end. This bond will continue to flourish. And whenever you need us, we are there for you. We're always there for you. So if your parents are not supporting, then Sandeep sir is your parent. If your brother is not helping, then Sandeep sir, Praveen Tyagi, STEPapp team, Vaishnavi, Girish, they're all with you. We'll do it. Any more questions?
We do have another question from Tema. She says, does board exams percentage define us and will it impact our life?
Beta, that is what exactly I explained you, Beta, today. Is that the percentage of board exams has nothing to do except it's a birth certificate, it's a date of birth. Having said that, because all your further exams will be entrance level exams, but the good thing is that the syllabus and the way the questions are asked are same, which are taught in your NCERT books. So don't prepare your board exams keeping marks in mind for your board exams. वो एक outcome automatically होएगा. When you do a thing well, when you do it with complete passion, understanding, the minimum outcome is satisfaction. And the maximum outcome is 100% marks. I'm not saying go for that 100% achievement. Let's have that minimum satisfaction that if I'm reading a book, I'm spending 2 hours of my life. Time is so precious. It's not going to come back. I'm going to spend 2 hours to study a particular topic. I'm going to do it the best way. And the best way is, the most logical way is to start understanding it, start asking questions from your own self, the questions which come in the book, and start answering them. It's the easiest. So board exam preparation, not for getting marks, but this will make your foundation strong for any further exam. और बात खत्म इस बात पे होती है. We want to become successful in life. Because when we see our face in the mirror every morning, we see eye to eye contact. When you meet your mother, you're humble, respectful. When you meet your father, you take his blessings. And you internally feel that I'm doing well for myself because I'm being honest. Honesty is the best policy, right? So let's be honest to ourselves. If we don't understand anything, we can ask it again. If you're not able to do, take advice. We are experts and we are here to help you. So don't worry. Lovely session, yeah, Girish. What a day. Wonderful. Yeah. So we'll close it here. My team is always 24/7 available. So on behalf of Mr. Praveen Tyagi, the founder and the CEO of STEPapp, PACE IIT and Medical, and his team of more than 450 IITians and doctors, and a STEPapp team which has more than 300 technicians, animators, content writers, teachers. That's huge team. We thank all of you who have spent some good quality time with us and hope to see you in future really early. Thank you. God bless. Take care of your health. Stay safe and stay healthy. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for joining us today.